Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Valoramous. In today's DJ tour, I'm going to provide you a pro tip for quick mixing and creating edits of your tracks on the fly, and that is through the use of hot cues on the first beat of your drop or chorus sections. So what this can effectively do for you is skip half of a track, or at least a segment or a portion of the track, by skipping in advance to a track that plays the same structure or sound of that song, but at a different space or point in time in that track. So for example, most tracks will have 2, if not 3 choruses or drop sections. A lot of times those choruses and drops do not vary or alter between one or the other. Sometimes they do in EDM music, maybe the second or the third drop will be slightly altered, but if the drops or chorus sections are simply a repeat, like a copy and paste of the first chorus or drop section, you can then create a cue point for the first beat of both of those chorus or drop sections, change the color of that hot cue to the same color. That way in your mind, you'll know that this is playing the same musical elements and it sounds the same at 2 different points in time in that track. And then with these 2 same colored hot cues, you can then switch between the 2 and the audience will not know that you've actually jumped forward in time. So on the DDJ-1000, the third cue point is green and the 4th cue point is purple. Generally, my 3rd and 4th cue points denote the 1st and 2nd drop. If the 1st and 2nd drop sound the same musically, then I know that I can identify those hot cues with the same colors. So I will oftentimes identify that hot cue as purple for hot cue number 3 and purple for hot cue number 4, which means as I'm getting towards that moment of the track when hot cue number 3 is about to play, instead of letting the track play into hot cue number 3, which is the first beat of the first drop of chorus, I can press hot cue number 4, which is also purple, and it'll jump maybe a third or a quarter or even upwards of half of that track. And then you are effectively creating an edit on the fly. You are truncating that arrangement of that track in real time for your audience, who will not be suspecting or not even know that you did this. However, I will caveat this by saying that you must do this in time. So you may want to select your quantize button, which if you are slightly off in time, when you press that hot cue, it won't sound like you're actually skipping the beat, but it'll stay in time with the beat. So if you don't have the quantize button set and you miss time pressing that hot cue to jump forward in the track, it could sound like there's a double beat in there or that it's missed time. So by pressing the quantize button, that will alleviate you from making that mistake, but you still must be somewhat accurate with when you press that hot cue button to skip forward in time. So we're going to bring my camera around on top of the DJ-1000, and I'm going to show you how you can create edits in real time of your tracks in order to facilitate quick mixing. And the reason why you probably want to do this, or at least have this trick as an arrow within your quiver as a DJ, is oftentimes at peak hour, you are not going to have time to play the entirety of these tracks. And by skipping forward in time into the track, you can usually push the track forward and maybe get to that outro section. A lot of times tracks will have these outro sections that do not have any vocals, and this provides a perfect moment in time to mix in the next track. Or you can skip forward and then mix in an intro section, an instrumental intro section of the next track, which can then allow you to quick mix as well. But this is one trick that you should be aware of. That way you can employ it at the right moment in time in your sets, because you probably will either A, not have time, or B, you're going to bore your audience if you play the full length of these tracks during peak hour. So by employing this trick, you can truncate these arrangements and then quickly get to the next track, or at least give you an option to get to the next track and then improve your overall DJ workflow. Okay, so I'm going to show you this quick mixing pro tip as a bird's eye view on top of the DJ-1000. So these 2 purple hot cues, which are my 3rd and 4th hot cue points, these 2 buttons identify the first beat of the drop or chorus section for drop number 1 and for drop number 2. So I can interchange between these 2 and they essentially play the same part, or not the same part, but they play the same musical elements in that track. So I only identify hot cues with the same color if they contain the same sonic features. So I'm going to show you what this looks like in real time. Now, again, as I described in the intro, you want to have this quantize button checked. That way there's a little bit of forgiveness there if you miss time pressing the button to jump forward and drag and create this edit on the fly. So here's what this will sound like. I know the 1st and the 2nd drop are the same, and we're going to skip approximately half, maybe a third of the track by pressing this button as the track arrives to this button. So again, we're jumping forward. All right, right now. And you see that? There was no sound of a mistimed beat jump. There was no double hit. It transitioned smoothly and seamlessly. The audience is never going to know that. But you have just jumped forward in time on your Q-scope feature on this actual jog wheel, and the audience will not know. Okay, so now I'm going to provide a live demonstration of quick mixing using the hot cues to jump forward in time, which creates an edit on the fly of your tracks. So I'm going to play from the first build-up section into that first drop, and right as the track hits that first drop, I'm actually going to press the hot cue button for drop number 2 or chorus number 2, and this is going to jump forward in time on this track about 33%, maybe upwards of half of that track. And you can use this as a method to quick mix and more efficiently move through these tracks, because during peak hour in your sets, you're not gonna have time, or you're going to bore the audience if you play these tracks in full length. So I'm gonna show you what this looks like. Again, the key point here is to have the quantize button checked. So if you accidentally miss time pressing this hot cue, it will forgive you and then jump forward in time to the first beat of that second drop or chorus section. So here's what this will sound like. So you have, that's my pro tip for quick mixing and creating edits on the fly, and that's through the use of 2 same colored hot cues to jump forward in time in the track. And again, you should only use this if both of those moments in time in the track sound the same musically, and you do this in time, which you can do through the aid of the quantize button, which provides you some forgiveness as the DJ in case you slightly miss time pressing the hot cue button. The quantize button will keep you on that grid, so you don't have to be exactly in time. If you don't have the quantize button on, then you really have to be in time. Otherwise, the jump forward could sound like a double beat hit, or it could sound mistimed. It could be early. So I would advise you to press the quantize button and then jump forward in time in your tracks with these same colored hot cues. So if you have any in the comments, questions, tips, tricks, or concerns, please leave those in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.
Like empty